Us, here are 10 questions that you guys asked about Kyokushin Karate training regimen. And here are my answers for it. Question number 1. What is the central philosophy behind Kyokushin training? Well, the core principle is Shingitai. It's spirit, technique, and body. The regimen is constructed to develop these three pillars in unison. While physical power and technical proficiency are paramount, they are considered useless without an invincible spirit, which is the us-no-sation. The training is deliberately grueling to push practitioners past their perceived limits, forging mental fortitude, perseverance, and humility. The ultimate goal is not to create mere fighters, but to build unshakable character. The famous Kyokushin saying goes like this: one becomes a beginner after 1,000 days of training. One becomes a master after 10,000 days of practice, in which 1,000 days represent roughly about 2.75 years, signaling the point where a student moves past basics, superficial understanding to truly begin their journey, and 10,000 days being roughly 27 years of daily practice, marking the path to true mastery, which underscores the lifelong commitment to this holistic development. Question number 2. A typical class seems intense. What is the basic structure of it? Well, a standard Kyokushin class is a meticulously crafted ordeal. It typically begins with rei, bow, a sign of respect, followed by a prolonged and exhaustive warm-up. This isn't a light jog. It includes calisthenics, dynamic stretching, push-ups, often on knuckles, sit-ups, and leg raises, all performed at high intensity to simultaneously build strength and stamina. Next is Kihon, the basics, the bedrock of the art. Students perform punches, kicks, and blocks in repetitive lines across the dojo floor, hundreds of times per technique. This is not mindless repetition. It is mushin, striving for a state of no mind where the technique becomes instinctual. The class then moves to kata, the formal exercises, prearranged sequences of movement that encode the principles of combat against imaginary opponents. Finally, the most defining segment, which is the kumite, the sparring. While in Kyokushin, this is full contact, often without gloves, to the body. Legs, ribs, and arms are valid targets, training students to absorb and deliver powerful blows. The class then concludes with strength and conditioning exercises, and a final bow, often leaving participants physically spent but mentally clear. Well, here's question number 3. Why is there such a heavy emphasis on pain and endurance? Mas Oyama believed that true strength is only revealed when one is forced to operate under duress. The intentional incorporation of discomfort, muscle fatigue, the shock of impact, the burning need for oxygen serves a dual purpose. Physically, it conditions the body to become resilient, hardening the bones through microfractures like shin conditioning, and teaching muscles to perform while flooded with lactate. Mentally, it is a form of exposure therapy. By routinely facing and overcoming controlled adversity in the dojo, a practitioner builds a kind of reservoir of resolve. When faced with a real challenge or crisis outside the dojo, they can draw upon the memory of having endured worse on the training floor. The pain is not the goal. It is the tool used to sculpt a stronger self. Question number 4. What role does Kihon play and why is it so repetitive? In the heat of combat, fine motor skills deteriorate. Under stress, the body defaults to its most deeply ingrained patterns. Kyokushin's thousands of repetitions are designed to turn the fundamental techniques so deeply into the neuromuscular system that they become gross motor skills, reliable, powerful, and accessible even under extreme fatigue or adrenaline. A reverse punch, gyakuzuki, isn't thought about, it is expressed. This relentless drilling also perfects form, ensuring power is generated efficiently from the ground up through the legs, hips, and core, maximizing impact while minimizing wasted energy. Question number 5. How does kumite differ from other martial arts? Kyokushin kumite is infamous for its intensity and unique rules. Most distinctively, punches and hand strikes to the head or face of an opponent are prohibited in standard sparring. However, kicks to the head and knees to the body are permitted. This rule forces a different kind of toughness. Instead of relying on head movements and boxing style guards, practitioners learn to close distance, absorb powerful body blows, and develop devastating low and middle kicks. It creates a brutal, grinding style of fighting that tests cardio, pain tolerance, and fighting spirit above all else. Protective gear is often minimal, usually just a groin guard and sometimes shin and step pads, reinforcing the art's bare knuckle ethos. Question number 6. Are there any special training tools or equipment unique to Kyokushin? Yes, definitely. The dojo is often equipped with unique tools of the trade. The makiwara is the quintessential one, a padded striking post used to condition the knuckles. Heavy sandbags and thigh pads are used for developing power. A simple car tire can also be used to harden the body. For instance, I used to harden my shins and fists by striking a truck tire hundreds and hundreds of times per session. Question number 7. Let's see. What is the purpose of kata in such a practical fighting style? While kumite tests applications, kata is the library. Each kata is an encyclopedia of principles, angles of attack, defensive maneuvers, throws, balance breaks, and vital point strikes. The sequences may be stylized, but each movement has a practical bunkai, which is the applications of the moves. Training kata develops rhythm, balance, coordination, and explosive power in techniques that might be too dangerous for regular sparring. It is a moving meditation, a link to the art's history, and a method of solo practice that ensures the practitioner is never unarmed. Question number 8. How important is the concept of us? Us, pronounced us, is the lifeblood of the dojo's culture. It is a contraction of two words, oshi, meaning to push, and shinobu, meaning to endure. It is a greeting, an acknowledgement, a sign of respect, and a promise of perseverance. When an instructor gives a grueling command, the unified response of us from the class is a collective pledge to push and endure together. It verbally encapsulates the entire spirit of Kyokushin training in a single powerful syllable. Question number 9. Is the training regimen suitable for everyone? Kyokushin is democratically brutal. Men, women, children, and older adults all train on the same core principles. However, the intensity is scaled appropriately. A child's kumite is light contact, focused on control and technique. An older adult might focus more on kata and kihon, avoiding the most intense impact. The key is personal progress within one's own capability. The dojo is not about beating others. It is about surpassing who you were yesterday. With that said, it demands a certain mindset, a willingness to embrace discomfort, and a humility to learn that is not for everyone. Question number 10, the last one. What does one ultimately gain from enduring this regimen? The superficial gains are obvious. The rock solid physique, formidable self-defense skills, and superior fitness. But the true treasure are internal. Practitioners develop a profound sense of self-confidence that comes not from arrogance, but from knowing exactly what you are capable of enduring. They learn resilience that permeates all aspects of life, turning everyday stressors into trivialities. They gain a deep respect for others, forged through shared struggle. Ultimately, the Kyokushin training regimen offers a path to discover your weakest self and through relentless effort leave him or her behind on the dojo floor, walking away stronger in every conceivable way. To the uninitiated, a Kyokushin dojo might resemble a chamber of controlled chaos. The air throbs with percussive rhythm of fists meeting pads, the guttural roar of collective kiai, and the sharp crack of shins colliding. This is not the sanitized point sparring world of many modern martial arts. This is Kyokushin Karate, a style founded by the legendary Mas Oyama, built upon a philosophy of extreme physical and mental discipline. Its training regimen is not merely exercise. It is a crucible designed to test and transform the individual and build a powerful character. Us, thank you for watching. I will see all of you on the next one. 10 questions. We'll have 10 more next time. Us, train hard, stay strong.